I think in the second round, if all of those guys are gone,
Yep.
I would consider it in the second round if they're all gone.
Yeah, me personally, I mean,
he's just not.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. Continue.
No, I was just gonna say, only thing about Maurice Hurst, like I'm not as big on him because I see him knife through the defense, right? But if he's not winning with the first step, he's getting blocked. He's not able to, recover and use a secondary move to get to the quarterback. I wanted to see his athleticism, but unfortunately he has a heart issue, so we'll have to wait till the pro day, and hopefully he gets cleared by then. So that's the only thing, I was thinking. I mean, I know PFF has him really high, but it just, what do you do if you can't make that first step and knife through the quarterback, But we'll see.
Yeah, I've heard that knock on him, and of course the main knock is his height, which I don't really understand.
No, I think
at the end of the day, you're in the interior of the defensive line. I don't need a guy that's 6'5" in over center. I need you to be able to get between those gaps.
I think he's perfect for a 3 technique. To be honest, that's a good height for a 3 technique.
I think he is as well.
Yeah.
Like you said, we just got to wait and see how he tests.
If you can play football, you can play football.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know there's certain positions where you have to have a certain weight and height and stuff, but if you can play, you can play.
Yeah. Hey, I know let's talk about positional value and the positions of need, right? So we all know D-line, cornerback, linebacker, OT, that's a need, but you have to take into the positional value first. Do you take a running back or a cornerback? Because it seems like we're getting Marshawn Lynch back, we're getting Bruce Irvin and Michael Crabtree back. So if those guys come back, what do you think is the biggest need in the Raiders? And where do you draft that position? What position do you draft first in the first round?
Okay, if Bowman is coming back, if Bowman, Irvin, Crabtree, and Lynch are coming back, the first round I'm going interior. I'm gonna take a defensive tackle, a 3 tech, because of the fact that I know that with Bruce Irvin, I know that with the defense we have a qualified defensive coach now. Ken Norton and Jack Del Rio combined don't really have the X's and O's skills to utilize the talent, and that's why I kind of am grading last year's team with a curve. I think that we haven't seen the best out of these guys. We haven't seen them utilized to their maximum potential. I'm even optimistic enough to say, okay, I think that we might see a better utilized Shalik Calhoun. And I won't go as far as saying Jihad Ward. I don't see it. But if I'm answering your question, yeah, I'm looking for a 3 tech. I'm looking for a 3 tech because I don't know if Mario Edwards is going to give me a consistent 12 games. If he's going to play 12 games next season, we don't know with him. Jelly's situation is up in the air. I like Trayvon Hester. I like Eddie Vanderdoes, but this draft is stocked with interior linemen. I'm going to take the guy that's best. I'm going to take the best interior lineman available. Navarro Bowman, I feel like we mentioned guys like Van Der Esch, Fred Warner, a couple other guys that I feel like pair them up with Bowman day 2 or day 3, and you're going to get a well coached player that is going to develop over the next 2 or 3 years and be pretty decent. Not to mention, you also have Nicholas Morrow. You have Corey James as well. You have a decent core of young linebackers that just need to be polished. So to answer your question, plain and simple, I'm going 3 tech. To answer your question, plain and simple, I'm going 3 tech to answer your question.
Now, what if
the other question I've got for you? Sorry, the other question I've got for you is on the flip side of the ball. So, do you feel like the Raiders could do with a running back to complement what we already have? Obviously,
yes.
Some people are expecting some people to get cut. Whereabouts in the draft would you pick a running back out of the class, and why? I mean, like, there's some really good ones that have showed up this week.
Malik, before you move on to the running back, I just had one more question on the D-line. Say if
Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Maurice Hurst is has a heart problem. He's not good to go. Who do you take besides Vea? Do you take Payne at number 10 if he's available? If Vita Vea is gone?
I think after this combine, I would say yes.
Yeah.
Before, I would say no. I think before I thought he was a 15 through 30 guy, but I mean the tape is there, and he's showing that he's an athlete. 4'9", 40 is great for his size.
He can move.
To answer your question,
pass
yes,
rush,
I would take Payne.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, let's do running back. I just wanted to get that out of the way. By the way,
And what I just want to say one thing before we move on. I've just had a message on my phone from Bleacher just saying that the Raiders or the 49ers are most likely to sign Tremaine Johnson, the cornerback from the LA Rams.
ugh,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
they're just
From
rumors.
ESPN. Sorry, I just wanted to throw that out there. It just popped up on my screen.
All right, let me answer that running back question first, and then we can talk about that because I think that's a really interesting situation. The running backs, to answer your question, I feel like you got two change of pace backs that can get the ball out of the backfield, that can catch the ball out of the backfield, and make things happen in Washington and Rashard. You got to go power here. A straight downhill runner that has a little athleticism that can be shifty. So I think that you don't pass up on a class of running backs like this,
No.
and not address this. I think that first off, I have to consider this guy because I don't understand why he's not being considered a top 15 player as with Darius Geis for LSU. If he somehow makes it to the second round, period. If I'm Reggie McKenzie, I trade up for him. Because I have the picks to use. If I can trade up, because I think the Raiders are like the picking like 10th in the second. If I could trade up 4 or 5 picks, 6 picks to get him, I'd do it. But if let's say he's gone, worst case scenario, he's gone. I would address the running back position in probably round between. Anywhere between 2 and 5. I think there are a lot of solid guys here that can learn, solid built guys that can be every down backs that can learn directly from Lynch.
So who was the guy you was talking about in round 2 that you would take?
Besides,
I would besides Geis in round 2, I would have to say I would have to say Ronald Jones. I think he's a little undersized, but I think that he's violent enough and is fast enough. He has a total package that he can be all right as a every down backer, but he wouldn't have to be with the talent that you have. I think what you got to look at right now is the fact that the talent of Gruden's pass backfields and how well he was able to mix it up with those guys like Charlie Garner, Zach Crockett, Napoleon Kaufman, et cetera, and know that he's not going to utilize these guys and give them 30 to 35 carries a game. If you're getting what you should have gotten out of Lynch last year, which was 20 carries a game, and just rely more heavily on your running game and just ground and pound, and then switch it up with the play action and stuff to get your guys like Rashard and Washington involved. If you can do that, then you're stretching the offense out and making teams who have to respect everybody on the field. But to get back to the question, that's why I say you got to have a guy like Ronald Jones. You got guys that can run, that can carry the ball every down, and can catch out of the backfield. So I'd say
he's my favorite. He's my favorite. One of my favorite players in this draft. He's my favorite running back. I think that he's. They say he's number 2, but in the NFL, you just don't know. He could exceed Barkley or he might not. But he's my favorite. But also another guy I'd like to talk about is Rashad Penny.
Yeah,
he's another one who's decent. Can catch out of the backfield as well. But he's obviously got some improvements to do as well, like all of them, really.
Yeah, I think the thing that the advantage that the Raiders have is Gruden. Gruden has been a student of the game since he left. He knows that all the pressure is on him coming back to this team, coming back, period, as a coach. All eyes are on him. He's going to bring the tricks out of the bag. It's his offense. It's his team. He's going to run it how he wants, and he understands that the game is changing. And he wants to have a back that can do it all. You want to have a good combination of a guy that's violent and can run it downhill, but you want to have a guy that can, get down the field, get 10, 15, 20 yards out of a screen or a bubble. And he knows that the more guys that he has like that, the better. Jalen Richard I think he was underutilized last year, and I think that his issues on special teams got to his head. DeAndre Washington underutilized as well. And I really liked him in college, but I think that with a draft class like this, Elijah Hood is going to end up being on the practice squad. He'll probably be snatched by somebody, but this is a draft class that you don't pass up a running back. You can't do it. No. It's a lot of talent in this draft. And
I mean, I'm looking at the names in front of me, and there's like Nick Chubb, even Bo
Sony Michel, yeah.
He had a really good day yesterday. Royce Freeman, Akram Wadley.
Royce Freeman really had a good day, man. He was all over the place.
Yes. You got, like you said, you got a draft of not only power guys, but most of these guys can run and catch the ball out of the backfield, and most of them can block. That's another component. You want a guy that's going to the last guy on that's there to protect Carr. That's another thing that you got to look at. You got to have a guy that has reliable hands, but you got to have somebody that can pick up that blitz. And you got a lot of guys like that in this draft. So this is the year you gotta, I really wouldn't be mad at wherever the Raiders decide to go running back, because I think that you got value at the top to the bottom of the draft. Even if you take a guy,
there's
plenty. Even if you take a guy like Martez Carter out of Grambling, you get that HBCU guy that has a lot to prove. He has a lot of great tape. Even if you take a guy like that around 6 or 7, you know that you're getting value. You're getting another stocky guy that can learn in the lynch. He can burst out of the backfield. He's pretty strong. I mean, simply put, you can get a running back in any round in this draft. Even at the bottom, a guy like Mark Walton from Miami, he kind of killed his stock with a 4.8 40 time, but his tape is pretty good. I mean, you got guys like Justin Jackson, who's been flying really far under the radar.
Walton was injured as well, right? Is that one of the reasons he dropped because of the injury?
Yeah.
So he was pretty good.
What about Hines from?
That's exactly who I was gonna bring up. I thought that if anybody in this draft, I really thought 4-3 off.
Yeah.
But he's a modern day running back in the sense that you can line him up in the slot. You can, give it to him on a screen, and he's going to find a way to take that from the line of scrimmage and get a first down, get 20 yards. You can do punt returns with him, kick returns.
Hey, you guys got cut off for a second for some reason. So I think the last 20 seconds, just Skype went AWOL. My bad. I don't know what happened there, but so let me...
No problem.
So let me just ask, do you think we both have Rashard and Washington in the roster beginning week 1 next year?
Yes, I do. I don't think Reggie McKenzie gives up on Washington that fast because, like I said, you got to look at him, and he really hasn't been used. Even in 16, him and Rashard kind of emerged like, okay, hey, we got something here. And then it was like he was a healthy scratch for a couple of games in this 2016 season when Rashard was doing his thing and Latavius was doing his thing, but he hasn't really gotten a shot. And you don't want to give a guy like that, because what's going to happen is they do let him go. He's going to go to a team like the Chiefs, and that's the last team you want to give another athletic guy like that to that's a dual threat change of pace back. I think that you got that value here. Like I said, you keep both of them and take the risk on losing Elijah Hood, who I feel like he's really motivated. I think that he's a decent back, but I think that I take the chance on losing him. I'm keeping both of those guys.
But they're the same person, kind of, isn't he? 5'8", same build. Maybe they want to try somebody with a little. I don't know.
I think they are similar. I think they are similar players. They certainly are similar players, but just the fact of with the coach that we're talking about in John Gruden.